Hey, welcome back to No Way. Tell me everything. I am your host, Jess. Thank you for being here with me today. I had not planned on recording an episode, actually, because I was supposed to be interviewing someone, but methinks they may have forgotten. But I did my hair, I put on clothes, so I'm here, I'm queer, we're doing it. Just give me a second, because these headphones are... Ugh, hold on. I don't need to hear myself talk. That's for you. That's your job. So I am going to talk about what it means to truly surrender. Because from my experience, we think we're doing the surrender, but we're not anywhere close to what it actually means. So strap in. Let's get started. I made some new jam yesterday. I tried a new combo. I actually made this one like let's call it a witchaceutical, because it kind of has intention and medicinal properties to it. Love potion number 9 was kind of what I was trying to create with it. But I did my 4-part straining method with my grapes. If you don't know what that is, it's 4 times straining through different hole sizes. No, I'm not going to go there. So I did that. And then I stewed the grapes for a little bit longer than normal this time because I wanted it to have like a very purpley, I almost said purpley flavor, but that's reserved for soda, purple color. And it definitely got that. Is the most beautiful dark violet color. And I did use lavender again because I really, really like how that tastes, but also because it's a witchaceutical. Is that a word? I'm claiming that. TM. In the circle, patented, whatever. I've now announced it. I own witchaceutical. So I added the lavender also because I think like a little calming is nice. A little calming is nice at all times. Get that nervous system relaxed. That always gets my motor going. That's actually not true. It usually makes me sleepy. I apologize in advance for everything that's coming out of my mouth now. But then I added my rose petals from my garden. Little side note, when you're using rose in food or drinks, it can start to taste real perfumey. So when I put in the rose petals, I was quite often taste testing throughout the whole process until it got to the flavor I wanted. Because if you just set it and forget it, you might end up feeling like you're eating perfume, and that's not the nicest. And then I also put in vanilla, because vanilla I also very much associate with love and comfort. And then the little sexy beast that I put in there is Damiana. I put in some Damiana flowers, which are great for also depression. Maybe that's why it gets your sex drive going, because you're not depressed. But it does get your sex drive going. It's an aphrodisiac. So I added some Damiana and I let it all stew or steep. I made this like tea for a while and then strained everything out of it. And then I made my jam. And I tried it this morning and it is delicious. I don't have a recipe for you as on the huge, but just eyeball it. Eyeball it and taste, watch, stir, get real active in it, really witchy. It's delicious. Try it out. Okay. So what it means to truly surrender. When Annie was on episode 1 or 2, the first interview episode, I asked her, what is your number one piece of advice for people when it comes to what you've learned? And she said, surrender. And we had a quick little chat about it. But the truth is, it's kind of like quitting smoking. It's the easiest thing and the hardest thing at the same time. Like all you have to do to surrender, all you have to do to quit smoking is just not smoke, is just let go. But letting go is literally so difficult because we're humans and we care. We care about this stuff. Like letting go of things you really don't care about is so easy. But when you actually really care about something, actually doing the act of surrendering to the universe and trusting that it will come to you if it's meant for you and in the way that it's supposed to come to you is literally one of the most difficult things that you can do, because you're going to want to keep trying to watch that pot boil, or everything that comes, you're like, oh, could that be it? And that's not surrendering. I always equate surrendering to a little bit, like a teensy tiny bit of a little bit like giving up. Like it's not giving up because you're not losing hope, but it is giving up. It's setting the dove free, and if it returns, it's meant for you, like that old chestnut. I don't think, did I I get my ADHD mushroom stuff this morning? Not too sure. Based on how this is going, I think not. Right. So there's a couple things that you need to understand when it comes to surrendering because it is fully giving it up. It is giving it up to God or the universe, your spirit guides, whatever you're letting it go to. Now, I actually might be slightly different in a lot of people that talk about co-creation or manifestation. I specifically talk about how I like to call it co-creation. It's not the most well-known word, so I still use the word manifestation just for ease of understanding. But I don't believe that you can manifest anything you want. And I know that's a sometimes controversial thought in the manifestation community because a lot of people, and I don't want to down it because it's just my belief system, but a lot of people will talk about how you can manifest anything you want. You just have to calm your nervous system or release limiting beliefs and then work towards it. And I agree with those three things I just said, but I actually don't believe that you can manifest anything you want because I think you can co-create with spirit and you can bring into your life experiences, people, material goods, things like that that are aligned with your soul and your soul's purpose and helping you to get on that path. I actually don't believe, based on my own experience and from talking to other people, that you can just manifest anything you want because I firmly feel at this moment in time that if you try to manifest or co-create things that are not going to help you or are not meant for you, then they're not going to happen. No matter how much limiting belief unblocking you do, no matter how many steps you take, even how much you surrender and let go, I actually don't think that it'll happen. And I think one of the basic reasons I believe that it won't happen is because I think there are a lot of things that we think are for us and we think we're meant to have in this life or would make us happy or would make our lives feel more fulfilling, but that's actually not the case because we're trying to co-create a life from an ego lens versus a soul-based lens. And I'll give you like a very small example from this for this. I wanted my Gucci bag and I found it on a secondhand designer site and I was so excited because I really believed that once I got this Gucci bag, it would heal some part of my poor child self that would feel like I deserved it. And now I'm mated, I'm successful, like whatever. And when I got it, I was so excited for like 5 minutes. And then I wore it out. I'm sure the audience is right now like, this is not shocking, but it was to me at the time. It literally changed nothing. And the lesson that I got from that pretty quickly was like, I really thought this was somehow going to change things so that I felt differently, and it hasn't done any of that. I don't feel better. This didn't do anything for me. And so I only tell you that story because I just don't think that when you're trying to co-create your life, or I'm going to say manifest when I'm talking about ego-driven things, when you're trying to manifest something that's based off of an ego lens, I just don't think the universe is you know, gonna help you with that unless it's to show you that you actually don't want this because it's not soul aligned. Now, on the flip side, when I've worked on my limiting beliefs, I've worked on the wounds that are causing me to feel like I need those things because I'm not deserving, for example. Not only did I realize that the things that I thought that I wanted to manifest were actually not things I really wanted or would help me in any way. I found different things that I wanted to co-create, which were much more meaningful. And those things I've been able to co-create with a lot of ease. And almost like the universe, like I've talked about, they really work with you on that. So I've had different lessons or patterns or things pointed out to me specifically to say, you need to work on this, or you need to go this direction, or you need to talk to this person, because then I'm truly co-creating on a soul-led path of the things that I want to call into my life that are attached to my soul, to my higher purpose. And the universe works very hard with you on those things. So one of the key pieces about aligning to your path or co-creating your life is surrender. And also, when you're going through really difficult times, we have a tendency to either try to get out of the uncomfortable feeling or to over control the situation to get the reins back so we can try to make sure that we don't, have that situation. And what I found in those cases is that that is the absolute antithesis of surrender. And we just make it really hard on ourselves and we don't allow the universe to work because the universe is somewhere else. Like, like I'll just say my spirit guides because that's how I work. My spirit guides are like, hey, look over here, there's something, but I'm not letting go. I'm not surrendering. I'm not giving them the credit that they deserve that they can make this happen for me. And I'm trying to do it my way. And yeah, you shouldn't have it your way because your way is probably wrong. Not always. I mean, a lot of times, like my guides will go with whatever way I'm going. But there's definitely a feeling sometimes of yeah, like, okay, if you want to do it like this, sure. All right, but it's not the easy way. And I've lived so many lessons under this not the doing everything the hard way. Part of me feels like because some of us have decided before coming into this life that we need to learn things the hard way because that's somehow going to benefit other people as part of our purpose or our soul or something. But when you actually surrender and let go, then you're doing things a much easier way. Like you literally can step away from it and you just trust and know that as long as it's aligned with you, it's going to happen. There's so many manifestations that I've quote unquote given up on, sent them off to my guides, that haven't come to fruition yet. However, some of those, as I do and continue my work and continue to evolve, I realize are actually not in my best interests or they're not the way that I feel would work for me. And so I think those ones I can say that I've given up, but in a way of like, I don't think those are going to happen, but I know that it's because I wasn't there yet. Like I thought I was there. And so I released it. I let it go. But now I'm in a different ability to be able to look at it and go, actually, you know what, that's not aligned with me. So that's probably not going to come in. And if it comes in, it'll maybe come in a different way. And then there's other things that I've surrendered and let go where I just know that they will come. They will come when I don't expect it. They will come in a different way. And I don't go around looking for signs. I don't try to check in. I'm always taking steps towards it because I don't believe that you can co-create by just sitting on your ass, but I'm working towards the end goal. I'm not on any certain path. I'm just kind of following the nudges because I think that's how it kind of works and comes in. So, how do we actually surrender? It's a great question, honestly, and I can't give you it's maybe a stupid topic for the podcast because I can't give you one specific answer that's going to work for you. I think what's more important is to be aware of if you've surrendered or if you're still holding on because like I said, I think quite often we think we've surrendered. We're like, "Okay, I've surrendered, universe. I've let go." But if you're not self-aware enough, you might look around and realize that you haven't let go. You've basically made a wish to the universe to say, this is what I want. Help me get it. And then you're still checking. You're checking all the time. Like you're lifting up the lid and looking into the pot to see if the water is boiling. Like you're just constantly still checking. You really have to almost have stopped looking at it. Like, yeah, it's a hard way to describe because it is giving up, but it's not giving up hope. I think that's the difference. And it's something that you just start to notice in yourself. The other thing is when you truly surrender, that is when you will start. So let me try to phrase my experience with co-creation. Before I've fully surrendered something, when I'm still either formulating what exactly it is that I want to work towards, or I'm still clinging on to control, which I still do. Everyone does. So this is not like I'm super enlightened and you idiots don't know how to surrender. Again, I'm speaking from experience. I still do these things. It's a practice. It's hard. But when I'm in that stage, that's where I find the universe pointing out to me where I need to grow. So during that stage, when I'm still they'll be pointing things out to me in a way that it's like, is this still aligned with you? Or they'll put someone in my path that has like a different way of thinking about it that makes me reconsider what it is that I want. Or they will point out to me a limiting belief within myself that I need to work on. So there's this kind of, project strategy, project planning. I don't really know. I'm trying to think of like a good analogy for it because I love analogies. But it's kind of like this ideation concept brainstorming phase where they're helping you get clear on what exactly it is. Because also, I feel that you don't have to be completely clear on what you want, but you do have to have a general idea of why it's going to fulfill something for you, why it's aligned with you, and not just seeing someone else doing it and going, I want to do that. Now, that's a great way to get clarity. If you look at people around you and you have envy, or you're really excited about something they're doing and you're like getting that spark of like, oh, I like that. Don't do exactly what they're doing in the way that they're doing it, because we're all unique. We all have different paths and different ways of working it and whatnot. But it's like a spark. That's an information nudge of, hey, this might be something for you, or maybe you want to explore this a bit more. So in that phase, they'll kind of do this brainstorming situation with you. But what happens when you actually let go is they start, and again, I don't like calling them tests because I think it's super trivial sounding, and I don't think that they're tests as such, but they're like expansion moments. Because, for example, you might think that you want, I've used this example before, but let's say like you want a video to go viral on social media. So that's what you're working towards, because you figured out that you want some stuff to go, you want a certain type of thing to go viral so that you can hopefully get more people following you so that you can start to spread your message, right? So this is the thing that you've now let go and you've surrendered. What's probably going to happen there is you'll notice these little expansion points where maybe somebody will leave a trolly comment on one of your other videos, and you realize that your nervous system feels a little unsafe. So you have to learn to either block them, stand up for yourself, do intentional breathing, whatever you're meant to work with there, whatever the expansion is for you. Like, I'm using nervous system expansion in this case, but you'll get these little moments like that where it's pointed out to you in microdoses. So it's helping you to expand, because a lot of times the speed with which we can call in the things we want to co-create is dependent on, one, when everything lines up universally for that to happen. Because again, although we're the center of our own universe, there's a very complex board game going on. So divine timing is a lot of, like, as we call it, that comes into play. But the other thing that comes into play is that you have to be able to hold whatever reality you're calling in, because you can call it in when you're not ready. If the divine timing is there and you've done the work, I still believe that it will come in, but it just might be really, really hard on you because you haven't done that expansion work. So what the universe will do is give you these little opportunities, these little expansion points to microdose for you whatever you need to work on. So if it's nervous system regulation, maybe you start off with one troll and then you get someone who private messages you, and then you get someone who finds you on, I don't know, Facebook and sends you a message. And then someone finds your email and sends you a message. Every time it happens, you'll probably notice that if you do the work and you work to calm your nervous system and get comfortable with the fact that you're actually safe, that it'll kind of escalate a little bit more each time until you get to the point where one of your videos can actually go viral without you having a nervous system wackadoo. Because a lot of times when you're more visible, that can feel really scary. And a viral video is a really big visibility. Like, you have a lot of people seeing it, and a lot of people are not always nice, as we all know, in person, but even more so on social media. So there's kind of this two-phase system. And so I truly, really believe that not only do we have to surrender it for our own mental well-being, because you can't sit there and worry about it and think about it all the time. It's going to hold you back from other things you need to work on, like nervous system expansion. Or another example could be that, like, you want a promotion at work, and so you're calling that in. But in order to get comfortable in this room of leaders that you haven't been in before, you have to get comfortable with confrontation and with difficult discussions. So suddenly you'll start noticing having these opportunities, these expansion points where you are being asked to stand up for yourself or stand up for someone else, or discuss something that makes you uncomfortable, or put forth an idea that not everyone is going to like. And you'll kind of microdose these situations, and it's helping you grow. But I have personally felt that when you don't let go and you don't surrender, I'm not sure, honestly, if it's that they don't happen or we just don't see them because we're still so focused on the hows of it. The how is it going to happen? What do I think I need to do? There's something about when you fully surrender and your brain disconnects from it that allows you to look at it differently and to start to see these expansion points, these opportunities to grow, and noticing them for what they are. And that's also practice, because the first time you're doing this kind of work, or the first time you're aware. You might have been doing this work for years and not even realizing it. But the first time you become aware of, oh, this is an expansion point. Oh, this is an opportunity to grow. It really, really helps because you can see what's happening. And it's like an arrow, like, hey, this is what we're working on to get you there. So work on it. Because sometimes you're also going to be stuck in other things. Like I said, if you haven't fully let go of it, you might be trying to do it your way or thinking about something else or worrying about why it's not happening and try to go into a different direction or actually give up on it and not realize that these things are happening. You're just thinking like, God, there's so many trolls, or man, why are all these difficult, conversations coming up? What's going on? Like, you just don't recognize it. So when you're able to be more aware and recognize what's going on, it's really helpful because then you're able to know that you have to do this. You know that it's part of your path. It's not just people suddenly being really difficult with you. Although I will caveat that in saying that like astrological influence does exist. So those things could also be happening, but it helps you to see like, oh, I have to do this and I have to get okay with this and I have to learn coping mechanisms for this, or I have to be okay having these type of conversations, because then that way, when the co-creation is in place, when you've called it in and you're now living it, you will be able to embody it in a positive way, not in a completely dysregulated, because if you want that promotion and then you're not ready for it, that's not a good situation to be in. It's not to say that you'll fail, but you're just making it a lot harder on yourself. Whereas if you had done the work, you would be regulated and embodied enough to step into that role and be confident in it. If you can do things the easier way instead of the hard thing, I would, I would recommend that. I often don't do it, but I mean, everybody else should. That's the way I feel like it's supposed to be. So I wish I had more actual tips of surrendering and letting go. I mean, there's the things that I kind of do when I can tell you what I do sometimes when I am self-aware of what's going on. Whenever I feel like there's something that I haven't truly surrendered, I work a lot with my nervous system because a lot of times it does sit in our nervous system that we don't feel safe letting go of that control. So you can do a lot of meditations, you can do subconscious reprogramming, you can do deep breathing. Every time you start to feel like you need to grip tighter, just do some deep belly breaths in and out. In through your nose, out through your mouth is very effective, or box breathing, but really work to calm your nervous system with the fact that you don't have control. That's like I think that's like the number one thing I can recommend. You have to be okay with not having control because that's the only way you'll be able to fully let go. The other thing is to take a break, to go do some fun stuff. So like this week, I took vacation. It's a huge lie. I didn't take vacation. I filmed like 6 episodes of this podcast, but they're so fun for me, so they're kind of like vacation is my excuse. But from my other type of work, which I have been struggling with a little bit, I took a vacation. I took a break. I haven't done any of it for a whole week. And what's happening is that now things are starting to flow again where they need to be because I've surrendered and let go and focused on something else. So taking a step back and doing something that makes you happy, or not giving up, right? But pivoting, finding something else that you can work on. And what's something else that you've considered that you can start? What's something new you can learn? Or, I mean, the best advice is just to relax. So nervous system and doing something else. There's also the point of whatever you co-create into a dysregulated nervous system is going to stay that way because that's now how yourself, your nervous system, your subconscious feels safe holding that co-creation. So if you have a business, or let's say the promotion again. So maybe you think in order to get that promotion, you have to work 60 hours a week. And so you're just working nonstop all the time. And you've been told by your boss, or you feel within your body that you have to work incredibly hard to get this promotion. I'm not saying that you don't have to put in hard work to get promoted, but if I'm completely honest, from my 15 years of experience, the people who got promoted were not the people doing the really hard work. It was the people riding the middle rail, if we're going to be honest. And I'm sure that you've also experienced that. But that being said, no matter what anyone's telling you about having to work hard for something or show up by killing yourself, basically, why would you want that promotion if that's what you have to do to keep it? Because it's not like you have to work that hard and then you get the promotion and then all expectations have dropped. You've now set this bar with yourself and with others of what this is for you. So if you even try to regulate down, now it's going to be, oh, what happened? You were doing more before. You were more present. You're not staying till 9 p.m. anymore. Is, something going on? Have you lost dedication to the company, right? Or even within yourself, you're going to feel really unsafe because you're going to feel, if I don't work till 9 p.m., if I don't work on the weekends, I'm going to lose it because you had to be a certain way to get it. It makes sense in a rational way that you feel you have to now stay there to keep it. So you don't want to do that. You want to be the most regulated, chilled out version of yourself so that when the co-creation comes in, so let's say this promotion happens, the bar is where you want it to be and where you want it to kind of stay. And you have to be really good about setting boundaries with that. I will always advocate for that with people, especially with work, because they're not your children. They're not your partner. They're not you. They're a corporation and they're run by people who are also dealing with the corporation. So you do have to have really very good boundaries and be very clear with yourself about what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. That was a side note of many of this episode. But I say a lot. I also realize that it's really horrible listening to yourself while editing or realizing that the software has cut out 437 ums or you knows. I say those a lot. Okay, now I've really derailed. All right, back on it. Back. Damn it. I said again just now. I did it again. So pivot, take a step back, calm down, and things will start to flow again. And they'll flow in a way that's actually good for you and comfortable for you. And again, it might not be in the way that you're working towards, but you'll be able to recognize when you're self-aware of it that this is still aligned, because you have to be able to check in with yourself to be able to know that it's aligned still. But the universe will start to handle things for you. I mean, have you ever worked with like a micromanager and the micromanager wants you to do everything their way? And they're like, no, we're going to do it this way. We're going to do it this way. And even though you know that there's a much better way to do this and the way that they want to do it is not efficient. And if they would just back the fuck off, you would be able to do your job in the way that works for you and the way that's easier for you and very possibly much more efficient. You're the micromanager when you don't surrender. So don't be that person. Take the step back, calm down. It's better for everyone. Universe, your guides, everybody, they just want us to trust them and let go because they want us to thrive. But if we don't let go, we can't move on to like the next part of it. Now you'll find that sometimes you don't have to let go. You don't have to surrender. Sometimes in life, things are just flowing as you're working, but that's because you're in alignment and you're going with the flow of the universe. So these times where we have to surrender, where we feel like we're constantly smashing our head against a wall or rolling a rock up a hill, whatever metaphor you like for that one, those moments are because we're doing things wrong. Again, it could be that you're in the right direction, but you're just, taking the obstacle course to get there. And the universe is like, giving you these obstacles to be like, hold on. Sometimes it's just a hold on. Sometimes it's, hey, just chill for a little bit. It's not time yet. Divine timing, babes. Calm down. And sometimes it's, yo, you should have made a right and you're making a left and we're trying to redirect you, but you're just not listening. So you're going the super long way around. And yeah, you can probably continue to smash your head against that wall and eventually get there. But why would you want to? Why would you want to when they're like, hey, let it go. And we're going to actually like put lights on the path for you and show you the right way to get to this super fancy hotel that you're meant to be at. This super fancy spot that we got for you over here that you're not seeing because you're looking in the other direction. So they want to help us and they're always there trying to nudge us, but we're just not really paying attention because we're so focused on the way we think we should do things. I hope that this was somewhat useful for you. Again, I wish that I had more points to give you, but the only thing that really helps more is understanding that surrendering is for your highest good when things aren't working. Give them up. Let them go. They will come back if they're meant to. But once you have the understanding, it's a practice. It's a practice and an awareness. You have to look at what's going on around you, look at yourself, and notice when you're controlling things, when you haven't actually surrendered. Because like I said, I will often be like, okay, I surrender this to you, guides. Get on with it. Can't wait to see. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, well, let me just check, or let me just do this little thing. oh, you know what? I'll do this. I'll help out. I'll help out a little bit. I'll keep doing this. And that's not what you're meant to be doing. Again, it's not meant that you don't ever do anything. You just sit there with your hands out. But you're not meant to try to envision the whole path to where you're going and trying to control the journey. So, yeah, I guess my biggest advice is if it feels like it's not working and there's too many obstacles, just take a break, work on regulating your nervous system, work on calming. Sometimes you'll get more clarity that will point to you that this is not exactly what you're meant to be doing, even though it's maybe in the right direction. Sometimes you'll get clarity that it's just not right now. You might hear wait, you might hear surrender. I hear that a lot right now. Or maybe, you just need to have some fun. Life is meant to be fun, and we constantly are always working towards our next goal. It's like we don't even take time to realize how great it already is or how we've already accomplished so many goals. Like, look how many freaking goals we did this year. Have you asked yourself that? Have you looked back at this year and recognized how far you've come and what you've done? I sure as fuck haven't. I'm only noticing that right now. I definitely have not done a comprehensive, like, wow, look how far I've come. So sometimes you just stop, enjoy where you are, smell the roses, and then, wait for the next thing to become clear of what you should do. It's not the worst advice. Honestly, yeah, take a little vacation. A vacation from yourself. Alrighty. Let's do a card for today. I did my nails today and they look so cool. They're very witchy. They have like these black tips that are kind of like melting down my fingers. And I've painted on some invisible runes on there for myself, getting very witchy here in October because 'tis the season. 'Tis the season. I wanted to go to Ireland for Halloween this year to go to one of their very big festivals. But instead, I think that I shall take a trip to go see my Northern Lights. Ooh. Hey, Hera. Okay. All right. The card we got is Hera, Alliance. And you know what this card is about, friends? This card is about getting together with somebody who can help you on your journey. Who do we think sent us that card? Who do we think was like, hey, let's work together? Let's work together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can have a real good time. Isn't that what the words are? It's from Parent Trap. I think that was from the original Parent Trap. So a lot of y'all youngins listening might not remember that. Not the Lindsay Lohan version. Or was it? God, I don't know. Okay, stay on track. Hera, Alliance. Okay, so what Spirit is saying with this card is we tend to go things alone. We tend to feel, and I've talked about this before, we tend to feel like we have to be the main drivers of our path, of our goals. And what they're saying is that actually lightening the load by having an alliance, having someone to work with, will make it not only more enjoyable, but it will also just make it so much easier. And I'm also getting the feeling that this is about working with Spirit. It is the co-creation, but in all actuality, it's also this energy that we're feeling right now is about having these more close relationships with people, community, having people to reach out to when you're feeling like you're banging your head up against a wall, but having a strategic partner who can support you, who can lift you and lead you. And there's also specifically something I'm getting around someone who has some advantages that could help you. So maybe there's some people listening to this right now who are in a situation where they feel a little stuck on their own. And Spirit is saying that look around your network or reach out to somebody that you might know who maybe has some sort of leg up that can help you, that you can actually form a little alliance with. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting around the cards right now is this idea of, yeah, they keep saying lightening the load. So something around not doing all the heavy lifting by yourself. Get a buddy, get a community, take a load off yourself. You don't have to do everything yourself. You don't have to be hyper independent. That's a trauma situation that we need to work through. It's a limiting belief that you can't trust others because they won't be there for you. And they're also saying if you even have those issues with people in this landscape, in this earth landscape, you should know that your spirit guides will always be there for you and are always there for you. You're never alone in anything you're doing. They're always co-creating with you. You know what they're showing me? This is really funny. Have you ever seen the videos of those people who do some sort of weird, I don't even know what it is. It's like a person with a stick and a pig, and they keep like tapping the pig a little bit to get it to like redirect to different places, and they're showing me that. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's really funny. But they're basically saying like you might not always see it because they're behind you is what they're saying. You might not always see the signs. You might not always see the way that they're nudging you, but they're always with you. They're always behind you, and they're always kind of like tapping you to redirect, to go in the directions that they know are the best for you. So pay attention to those nudges because they're always with you. That is so funny. Now I want to go watch. I remember there was one of a girl who they have like crazy faces. I think there's like they have to look like that. Like they have to look at the judges with these like super serious faces. Like they can't, I don't know. That has nothing to do with the reading. That's just me thinking about a video that I saw. But yeah, so they're showing me that they're always there with you. But it also feels like it's not just them. Like they are literally saying that you should team up. Team up and help each other out. All right, I love you all. I hope this was even somewhat helpful for ya. But if not, I'm sorry for wasting 30 to 40 minutes of your life, depending on how many ums I have to cut out. I love you. Follow me on jesssolstice.com. Please remember to rate and share and like the podcast. And I will talk to y'all later. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye. Love you.